Okay, quick update. I took both the calipers off, this one first. That one came off really easy and the pistons looked really clean, and touched the brakes, they were fine, pushed the pistons all the way back, put the calipers back on, shoved them all the way forward. That caliper is working a treat. This one that I thought I was going to have more trouble with actually didn't. Well, kind of. This bolt had been tightened up by a gorilla, but it wasn't seized, it was just well over tight, but it came undone. This bolt the same. But when I didn't think I could get that off, I started to think about, well, wait a minute, I'll take the whole arm off, but then I remembered you can't, because this black part here at the back actually slots into that, and you need the wheel off, I think, or it's very close to, in order to take that whole arm off that holds the caliper. And you can't take the wheel off because, well, I suppose you could take the wheel off, yeah. You'd probably have to take the mudguard off from here and then pull the wheel out forward. Otherwise you'd be stuffed by the caliper. Anyway, making a long story out of this one. Caliper's fine. It was dirty inside, cleaned it, pushed the pistons back. They're working both fine, exactly as you'd want them to. Put that back on, pumped up the discs, everything's glorious. Oops, forgot that. With one exception. If you look here, there's a gap. There's a gap in there, and that gap, it's hard to see with the calipers on, but that gap lets this caliper arm move, and that doesn't look right. I know that there's supposed to be a big rubber seal here. I don't know if there's one on the other side, I didn't take it off. But I can't remember there being a gap sufficient to let the whole caliper arm move. So I'm going to have to go stare at that in the manual. It might be correct, just something about it not right. Feels to me like it'll let the brake move, and why would you want to let the brake move? I mean, sideways, yeah, obviously, but backwards and forwards? That doesn't sound right, but we'll find out. Oh, exciting. Look what just turned up. Fantastic. Find out if that key fits the other locks, but this is the ignition for this one. So we need to get this all taken apart and that reinstalled in that hole down there. Hopefully the screws are still in there. Yeah, we'll figure that out. Okay, let's go. Let's see if we can get this thing lit up and find out what works in the electronics. Yeah, I was talking about this before. I mean, this is the front of the bike, you know, rain incoming this way. Let's put all the electronics here, and even better, see that there? That's the fuse box. I mean, that's, you know, let's guard the electronics from the rain and use the fuse box to do it. Okay, never mind. Couple of rogue wires here, don't know what they're off. Interesting, have to look that up. That's the one we're interested in, so we've got to that, and then somehow we've got to get up here. Now we're missing the screws by the looks of it. See if I've got any to fit. Okay, that's that screwed back in there. Ignition now poking through there with a key in it, and we pull the cable through and plugged it back in there. Just got to reassemble this lot now. Let's do that, and all back together again. We've now got an ignition switch. Oh, steering lock works and everything. Right then, let's get a battery in it. I was just going to steal the battery off of this one to make use over there, but thought I'd go down and get a bit of petrol and throw some in this and see what happened. It's probably just running on 2. Yeah, that's still running on 2, so I couldn't remember exactly where I'd left that one. The smoke is just because I've before I put them away I cover them in bike spray, so that's just that burning off. The smoke out the back is not, that's that's because it's running on 2. So another little job we'll have to get done, but runs. Yeah. Right, got a battery on there now. Well, saying on there, haven't connected this. Let's just make sure we're not, it's not, oh, it is switched on. Wait a minute. Okay, switched off. And any sparks? Nothing. Okay, I did replace a fuse in this fuse box here. I replaced that fuse there. That was melted to hell. And look at the burn marks around the top of it. I don't know if you can see them. So that's had some heat through it, which, to be honest, I should really be checking the solenoid one, because I'm guessing if I turn it on, watch for sparks again. Nothing. Hang on, not connected. Okay, nothing. Yeah, so that's main fuse, which is, oh yeah. Just a second here. Don't know if you can see the top of that. It's all bubbled up inside that. That fuse is not only blown, that's melted as well, which is strange because that's how the other one was. Right, let me get a pair of pliers to pull that. Okay. Little shield round it's really annoying. That's a 20 amp fuse. I'm not sure that's, oh god, yeah, that's welded itself in. It's alright, there's no battery connected here. God, Bennett. Alright, need 2 hands for this. Right then, solenoid kind of pulled out. Don't like the look of this. This fuse, let's see if we can get it in front of the camera. Look at that. The one in the fuse box at the front was exactly the same. Now this is a 20 amp fuse, which I need to check. I think it's supposed to be a higher amp fuse, but the fact that it does that to a 20, yeah, I mean it's totally fried, so that wasn't starting. I do have another solenoid. I actually took this off the V45. This is one that the wires melted on, but turns out this itself doesn't look too bad, but it looks awfully familiar. It looks awfully the same as that one. So are these just some cheap copy that's not up to it and they're setting wiring on fire? Well, I'm just going to work out which one's the best one of them two and carry on, I think. Yeah, maybe that's best bet. Okay, report back in a minute. Okay, swapped back in. Connected back up. Let's see if we get sparks. Now, I'm guessing we do. Make sure we are on there. Nothing. Interesting. Don't know if I should connect that up or not. Just going to wedge it in there for a second, I think. Ooh, fuel pump. It's trying. Oh, it's pumping. There's blooming fuel in there. Or water, one of the two. I'll change that little filter for another little filter. Look. We best switch this off. I think now we've got petrol involved. Need to figure out why these fuses are blowing and why nothing up here lights up, because we should have oil light. Put high beam on, we should have high beam light, we should have neutral light when that's on, but we've got nothing. But the fuel pump is pumping. Now interestingly enough, if we leave that where it is, with that switched on, we should be able to do that with the stop switch. That's interesting. You should get a pulse of the fuel pump there, but I'm only getting a pulse of the fuel pump when I disconnect. So when I turn the ignition off, it goes click. There you go. Nothing when I switch it on. But interesting that it's pumped whatever was in there into here. So it's taking the vacuum out of there. I'm guessing that we'll loosen these off and see what's inside these, because maybe we can just blow some fuel through. If that's got fuel in it and it looks pretty clean, we could chuck some more down that hose. Just need to have a look for leaks and stuff. I wasn't really thinking of getting that far, but we're still screwed, because until we can figure out, you know, why there's nothing up here. It's a big fuse here, but I checked that, it looks alright. Could be anything. Alright, we're just going to have to start digging through cables and stuff. Why is this all pulled apart? Okay. Alright, time for wiring nightmares, but I'm not seeing any fires yet. That's a good thing. Alright, let's turn that off and just disconnect that. I don't think it's doing anything, but we're getting power through because that pump is trying to do something. Okay, we'll come back to this. Little update. I just noticed it's not just the fuel pump that comes on when you do that. Look. Oh, hold it there, we're on. So there's something not right with this switch. I think it has been apart. Neutral's on. Neutral light's on. Oil light. What's that one? Don't know what that end one is. One's oil. Fuel not on. Yeah. Hardly a surprise. We'll come back to that one. There's a thermistor hanging off the bottom of this thing here, and basically they dissolve. I've got one actually in a drawer somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So we could replace that. It's just a simple soldering job. I did it on the V45 as well. But that's interesting. Let's see what happens if we turn it on slowly. Nothing. Now, but if I hold it there, that initiates. Got neutral light. Tail light warning. Not sure why tail light warning's on. Maybe I was wrong about that box, but that's what that box does. It makes that light light up. Gear position sensor seems to be working, well, at least in neutral. At least I know what that bottom screen's for now. It's a gear indicator. Okay, let's see if we can get this fixed. Okay, progress, kind of. Got the switch hanging out down here at the moment. Let's just turn it off. Might not have enough fans for this. There we go. Right, so switch off. Now when I turn it on, it is getting better. Did you see the fuel light go off? That would back up why that pumped up so quick. That auxiliary tank is full. and the thermistor I'm talking about is not out. Now we do not have a high beam light, but then again, ooh, that's interesting. Tail light goes, oh yeah, that's like, you know, you haven't got a tail light on, so that should mean that way you have, God, it's so hard to tell. I think there's a light on in there. Let's just press the brake pedal as well. This is going to be acrobatics. Wait a minute, you guys are going upside down for a second. Yeah. Oh, brake light works. That one does anyway. Can't reach this one. Tell you what, you tell me if it's working. And also, the big button, it turns over. Now, I'm not going to test it yet. I don't really want to start it yet, because that battery needs charging. I need to give it a good run for its money. Plus, that connection there, all I've done is sprayed some electrical contact cleaner in it. It's WD-40 electrical contact cleaner, but contact cleaner nonetheless. And that seems to be bringing this round. I need to just wiggle it around a bit more, probably with the battery disconnector, so I don't burn anything else out. But nothing caught fire. We've got headlights. Ooh, we have. How about high beam? Wait a minute. Oh, that was high beam. So with that on, that high beam warning light's supposed to be on, but it isn't. So that doesn't work. Oh, well, it does actually. It's just really dim. Off. I don't know if you guys can see that. On. Yeah, it is. It does work. It's just very dim, which means all that's working. Temperature gauge, gear indicator. I think that just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, don't know what happens when it gets to overdrive. So, camera freaked out on me there. So we can test these coils. So we'll do that, and then, being as we've got, it does spin over on the key now, on the button. Oh, hang on, I forgot these. Horn works. Yeah, we can get the plugs out and check, see if we've got spark. We'll do that on all four, that test both of them. Won't know about the rev counter till we start it up, but there's fuel in it. Potentially. I mean, I don't know how old that fuel is, and maybe it's water and not fuel, because I can't smell anything, but it's pumping something. So yeah, let's give it a go. So everything appears to be working. I haven't tried indicators, have I? Can't be that one, because that one's well, the flash unit's making noise, but the rest of it isn't doing anything. So yeah, we've got to sort the indicators out. Right, it's probably just bulbs actually. Probably just bulb grounds. Take them out, give them a clean, put them back in, they'll be fine. All except this one, which had a mysterious accident of unknown origin. Right, let me switch it off before it burns the battery out. And I think tomorrow we'll have a go at starting this up. Right then. So more good news. Everything seems to work. Everything. Not sure about charging yet. Don't know about that. Just had the spark plugs out. Got spark at all 4 cylinders. Seem to have something in the way of fuel. In fact, That's enough for that then. That'll be WD-40 burning off. Awesome. It just runs then. Right, okay, well that was unexpected. All the electronics seem okay. Had a look inside here. That indicator, the two wires with the bullet connectors go to that indicator. They're just not wired to anything. That one's broken anyway, so I've got to replace it, but the indicators are actually working. I switch it on, they just flash really fast at the back and don't work at the front. So apart from that, headlight works, horn works. Right, you need to hear that, don't you? Horn works. Not sure about that fuel pump. I honestly thought that was not working. Not sure about that fuel pump at all. You know, maybe it is working, maybe it isn't. That's the battery off the 750. Not really big enough for this, but seems to be doing it. And obviously I haven't cleaned the carbs out, so that'll be a first. I think next thing then, we need to get those tanks cleaned out. I haven't even looked inside that one, but there's obviously fuel in it because it's pumped it up into this filter. So yeah, it's alive.